evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the DarkMatch. This is the WWE Week in Review for August 25th, 2012. I'm the Lone Warrior, and I've got nothing witty to say right now.
And I'm DigiFox, and I still can't find my socks.
I'm Slick Rob. The Dark Match's resident hater of Randy Orton.
Yeah, you are. And I'm Christopher Says. I'll be doing the Iron Sheik tweet as we go to our favorite segment. What is Iron Sheik tweeting? Ask the intelligent Jew Sanjay Dattason. He know more than everybody because he work hard in the training. Not like the dog shit Virgil. And for everyone's information, though we probably should have done this last night for the TNA show, they let Sanjay Dutt go. They kind of gave him the Nicky Rocks treatment, where it seemed like he was going to go places in the X Division, and
They brought him back, and then they let him go again?
yeah,
Well, that's not surprising at all.
Oh my god, they Marty Jannetty him.
they Eric Bischoff him.
I really liked it. Sanjay Dutt too, so
Yeah.
that's strange. I liked him more than Kenny King.
Apples and oranges for me. They would have been. I would have preferred they'd have both, but yeah, he had a really snazzy finish also. But perfect for the X Division. My guess is they just didn't have the budget. But yeah, enough of TNA. We're gonna talk about the week in WWE with a damn decent Raw and an alright SmackDown.
It was boring.
The entire week or SmackDown?
SmackDown.
Okay.
Raw was okay.
Raw was sort of okay.
I kind of feel wrong admitting this, but I'm actually starting to enjoy TNA a bit more,
Yeah,
and that scares me.
I
we're coming down from a good
Yes,
period
interesting.
today. From Destination X to Hardcore Justice, and we're sort of coming down with this Aces and Eights bit. And although they finally ended the Claire Lynch thing, I don't feel like the stupid has left TNA. So I just feel like it's going to be sort of once with the reveal of the Aces and Eights, it's going to be sort of a down period for wrestling in general.
Yeah, once that, but yeah, we're not here to talk about TNA, so we're here to talk about WWE.
A lot of people claim that, like, around when football season starts, they start to get a little more lax. I remember last year's Night of Champions, I'd say, save for Mark Henry, was quite disappointing and lackluster in this one, and a lot of people are dreading this one. But to get into it, something that has a little bit less to do with that pay-per-view, we start out as Bork Laser's music hits, and out he comes to the ring with none other than Paul Heyman. As he comes out, we have a picture montage recap of his match with Triple H when he mercilessly made him tap.
Yeah,
And
Heyman basically talks about how the match between Lesnar and Triple H was just uncomfortable, and goes, Triple H is strong, but Lesnar was able to stop him dead in his tracks. And Heyman gets himself worked up, like talk about how Lesnar forced Triple H to quit, to quit on his family.
You're getting ahead of yourself. First, they do the Scott Armstrong bit.
no, they do that sometime
that comes
after his
after.
promo.
That comes after.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But essentially, Paul Heyman, before you get into that, Paul Heyman actually shits on the commentary team. He says, like, I could do a much better job than they can when I was at the table, and he's right.
Yeah, he's damn right.
Well, consider who's sitting there. It's Michael Cole, who's Michael Cole, and Jerry I don't give a shit Lawler.
Yeah. Jerry, I'm gonna shit on all the heels, Lawler. As soon as you turn heel,
And unproductively, unlike when he shit on all the faces years and years ago.
as soon as you turn heel, you cannot have a legitimate win in the eyes of Jerry Lawler.
But
Even if you're face, sometimes you can have a legitimate win.
yeah.
But Heyman says that Lesnar left Triple H a battered shell of a man, and that he doesn't feel sorry for him, and neither should the fans. And then he calls out the referee. And, the immediate thought is, oh, this isn't going to end well. And Heyman gets the referee, Scott Armstrong gets in the ring, and you can tell he doesn't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And Heyman goes on about how, Triple H had Armstrong bend the rules. But he says that Lesnar has 2 words for him, and he gives Lesnar the mic. Lesnar he basically backs him into a corner, and then
He all but chokes him. Almost.
All he really does is he pats him on the shoulder, and goes, "Good job," and backs up.
After he puts his arms around his neck.
I think this is a good use of Lesnar. Lesnar is good for sound bites, and that's it.
Yeah, he's good for that sort of like being really intimidating and saying so little. Well, when so little is not pith. This is the good Bork.
Pith.
Yeah, I think they realized after that one promo he did before Extreme Rules that maybe he shouldn't be allowed to have a mic, because he wasn't actually
giving him the mic now.
He's running down his leg.
No, I just mean, like, when he was in the company before, he was actually okay on the mic. He didn't, when Heyman wasn't his mouthpiece, he was doing okay. And I guess he was supposed to be pretty good while he was in MMA, getting people worked up and excited. But since he's come back, it's like, don't let him talk too much, although they seem to fail to do that. But Heyman basically goes, yeah, Lesnar's the new King of Kings, because he moitered Triple H.
And he says, in any other person's mouth, this would sound absolutely ridiculous. But somehow when Paul Heyman says Master of the Broctagon, it sounds...
He gets it over.
Yeah, it gets it over.
Yeah.
The Broctagon.
And then I commented when I heard that sounds like one of Brock Lesnar's favorite sexual positions, the Broctagon.
Or that's the name for his penis, but yeah, but Anchorman reference. Nonetheless, Paul Heyman ends by calling him the Conqueror of the WWE, and while doing that whole like sort of jogging in place pose, Bork just
that really didn't fit there. I was like, no, Brock, don't do that. Bad timing. No.
He exits to his music.
Yeah. I'll admit that was a good way to end to hype up the match on the pay-per-view, and not hype up, but hype up the aftermath or whatever. This sounded so much smarter in my head. Moving on. I liked it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a
promo. I liked it.
It was simple enough.
Yeah, it's always good.
It was simple enough from Brock's presence and his small words, and over the top enough for Paul Heyman as he always is. We move on from that to a tout segment from none other than CM Punk, who says that like he played by AJ's rules, so now he thinks he should have his respect and be able to choose his next opponent for Night of Champions.
But
nice way of using tout overall.
And we also get
I do like
upcoming Shawn Michaels segment later on tonight.
I immediately shitted on tout when I think we all immediately shitted on tout when it came out. But oddly enough, the first person to get it over for me was Heath Slater.
Heath Slater has been getting a lot of things over recently.
Yeah, Heath Slater on tout is golden. Just his first thing on tout was him driving very angrily and talking to the legends and saying, "Don't make me mad."
So he is indeed the next Jeff Jarrett.
No, Heath Slater is entertaining.
Well, actually, yeah, you got me there. After that, we have the tag champs Kingston and Truth, fresh off their SummerSlam victory with these Sheamus plush dolls. And, like I don't even want to get into that. They've been pimping them pretty hard lately. And our first match of the night, Sin Cara with Kingston and Truth versus Cody Rhodes and the Primetime Players.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was. It was pretty. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was a nice exhibition, except I noticed like the heels were never really got a chance to showcase at all. Like they were mostly being beaten down.
And I can't remember if Sin Cara had the Sin Cara lighting or whether they just had regular lighting.
They had regular lighting.
I believe it was
Okay.
regular. The majority rules, I guess.
Yeah, here's the thing. Are Titus O'Neil and Darren Young being punished for AW? Because
It's happened before. Think Drew McIntyre.
it's just like they're being beaten pretty handily.
I don't think it's that. I think it's just that they're trying to make Truth and Kingston actually look dominating, so that if they bring in another tag team, because if they're supposed to be building the tag team
they
division,
just negated all the building up they've done for
yeah, I
and-
know, but
and
it's the
Titus.
WWE. Come on, they'll fuck something up to make something else look good.
But yeah, taking what Jess
Where-
said, there's a segment on
Vince
SmackDown
McMahon
that
just
kind of
wakes-
confirms Lone Warrior's opinion.
Vince McMahon just wakes up in the morning and just says, "What the fuck are we doing? Don't push those two."
But yeah, they're pushing. I think they're just trying to push Kingston and R-Truth, so that if they bring in like another heel tag team, like I don't know who they've got waiting in the wings from FCW or whoever their development is now.
Not Kurt Hawkins.
Well, now
Tyler
is going to be a good thing to see if Titus O'Neil and Darren Young can get over by themselves without AWs or mouthpiece.
Oh, they can.
Oh, they definitely can. They were over before they got AW.
They were better without him. They
Yeah,
can talk better than he can.
The weird dance thing they do and everything. They were doing that before AW. It's just they decided they decided they needed a mouthpiece, and they fortunately gave them a giant fucking mouthpiece.
I'm going to get into more of what I think WWE is doing wrong with managers when we get to SmackDown, but
Basically, I'd say to conclude this match, the only thing notable that I remember the heels getting in was Darren Young doing this great like scissored headlock, and pretty much the match speeds up and also devolves into chaos when it's just Cody and Sin Cara in the ring. Cody tries to pull off Sin Cara's mask, and he gets jackknife pinned for the win by Sin Cara's team.
Okay, I actually have one little problem with that. They've done this already. It was called Kane versus Mysterio. It sucked. Why are they repeating it with Sin Cara and Rhodes? I mean, Rhodes is going to be doing anything else.
Because Cody Rhodes is awesome and he can do anything.
Well, mask versus mask or mask versus hair is always going to be a popular thing.
I'm so hoping that if they have a match on pay-per-view, Cody Rhodes brings the paper bag back.
I think no, he pretty much confirmed on Twitter or in an interview, I forgot which, that like they stopped that because it got over and like everyone wanted that to, like he became less of a heel and more like I want to be a part of this.
Well, yeah, like anytime you give away free stuff is when they, no, I'm talking about like he puts like a paper bag on Sin Cara's head or some shit.
And we'll see. He seems to be more still into like cosmetic ideas, like he displays that like ridiculous caricature of Sin Cara's face as what he calls an artist rendering. So, I mean that's what they're going for so far. Who knows? They might even take off Sin Cara's mask.
I think they're gonna do the mask under the mask thing. I don't think they'll unmask Sin Cara.
I don't think you'll let them unmask him. I think he'd.
I mean,
honestly think that if they tried, he'd protest a lot.
And
plus, that's a merchandise thing that they is like with Mysterio. It's like, you're gonna unmask somebody who's got a mask who you can merch the fuck out of.
It's got to
Yeah.
be a pretty damn big deal to unmask a luchador.
Fair play.
It
here-
is.
here- Also, I don't know if it was on Raw or SmackDown that I noticed that he no longer dyes his hair blonde. I think that might have been SmackDown. Because if if you look it up online, you can see Mystico unmasked, and he dyed his hair blonde.
It didn't work for him, but
Yeah, it looked really shitty.
But nonetheless, I mean, I think you guys are probably right. I'd say the only time when Rey Mysterio is going to unmask is when he's going to have like his retirement match, and then the celebration the next night he's just going to like pull it off in the middle of the ring, even though everyone knows what he looks like and everyone.
Or no, he's going to unmask, and there's going to be one last mask. I don't think Rey Mysterio's ever going to unmask.
Again,
Okay,
not
Again.
after WCW.
Not after WCW, no.
we'll see this. Fair enough. But
But go ahead.
at this point, we go to Matt Striker interviewing AJ, and she's about to give him some kind of words when David Otunga comes around, and he's basically like, "Hey AJ, I was just in a Halle Berry movie, so I should be your assistant." And
What?
Yeah, his entire logic is, hey, I was busy, being in a movie, but now I'm back, and you should I should be your assistant because you'll need legal counsel to keep you safe, and da 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 da, and she looks at him and goes, "What did you say?" And he's like,
No, I think-
"Well,
Is this the point where she utterly zones out during?
no, this is where she basically she heard what he was saying and was like, it was the part of her going, "What did you say? I don't need to be protected. I don't need anyone protecting me. You know what? You're gonna have a match tonight. Fuck off."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
And Otunga's like, "Okay."
yeah, thing about it is, like, if I was Otunga, I would have offered her Halle Berry's Catwoman suit. As shitty as that movie is, that like I just want to see AJ in a Catwoman suit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But they go back to what Striker was trying to say, and he brings up CM Punk's tout from earlier, and AJ goes, "That's fine as long as I approve of who it is." And then she smiles and she skips away. Which I thought was funny.
And
She's just like,
yeah,
and I've noticed that people are like, well, maybe they need to get rid of the skipping, and it's like, no, she's crazy. That's the entire point of the skipping.
Yeah.
She's not fucking, as good of
The
a job
skipping
as
gets
she,
her over.
yeah, as good as a job as she might be doing, as the general manager, she's still in the end knucking futs or fucking nuts.
Hmm.
And so,
Okay.
the skipping is like is just drawing attention to her, and that's ultimately what she wanted in the first goddamn place.
So back from break, after the break we get Cole plugs Khloe Kardashian as their social media ambassador. Okay, here's one thing I have to ask.
Who cares?
Yeah, why are they getting celebrities that no one cares about?
well,
People care about
celebrities that I'm
shit.
sure aren't interested in wrestling.
Like, first of all, they're not even getting the A-list Kardashian. And think about that. The Kardashians themselves are Z-list trash. And they're not even getting the A-list Kardashian.
yeah, they're not even a big deal in Star Trek.
I see what you did there.
Boo, go to your corner.
They don't want any time.
Oh,
They don't
I just
want
got that.
They don't want any time with those spoonheads.
But yeah, he mentions that she's been tweeting about Sin Cara, Lesnar, and Heyman. And he's like, whoopee shit. But no, we cut to the ring, and out comes Ryback. Yay! And he's doing another double no-name jobber.
Oh yeah, everybody
Match.
loves this guy.
Fuck!
Yeah, you see, folks. This is the moment where I talk about my quote unquote method, where I take notes for these shows. Although I'd rather have a much more worthwhile show and better notes, like this is the point where it just gets easy for me, where I could just write The Ryback versus Jobbers. He fucks them up.
Yes, and I kind of wish they'd make up their mind if they're gonna just keep on feeding him local skinny. Holy shit! Was that one guy pale?
I
I'm pretty
still
sure
want
one
a
of them was
Jobber
Stitch.
Rumble.
And then
I still want,
Jinder
like,
Mahal
15
comes in.
Well,
I
no,
still want him and 15 jobbers in the ring.
Ryback does his usual stick of murdering these two schlubs who were like, we can take him. We've watched Raw before. We can take this guy.
And then Jinder Mahal runs in.
Yeah, and he's about to do his finisher. Jinder Mahal hits him from behind. So, Ryback wins by disqualification, continuing his streak. Oh my god. I think Ryback's at 25-0 now, by the way. Or he's at
Are you
this point.
counting multiple people in the same match, or just?
I'm just counting like one match per. He's had 25 of these matches.
So
Mahal locks
Mahal
Ryback
fails.
in the camel clutch, and he powers out of it just like fucking nothing.
He fails to make Ryback humble.
And then he hits him with, I'm not really sure what that was, but Mahal runs out for the Mahal runs away, and so Ryback just continues what he was doing, where he picks up the two guys and just murders them again. And is like, yep.
I would love it if for. I've talked about this before. I would love it if Ryback goes through a training montage with the Iron Sheik to learn how to make the humble.
Too late. But we'll get to why it's too late.
Why is it too late? Why can he not learn how to make the better humbles?
Because it's
he
Jinder
doesn't need it.
Mahal.
You know what? Jinder Mahal, he's probably he's probably not that bad of a wrestler, but the thing is, his gimmick is it's been done so much that nobody gives a shit about it.
Yeah, in 2012, it's really...
And his music kills... Yeah, he's the evil foreigner. It's like, nobody cares about the evil foreigner anymore. And his music just kills crowds. I mean, the only thing that could kill a crowd more would be a Divas match, which I'll actually get to when we get to SmackDown.
I like matches. Hush.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But after this, we go backstage, and Jericho's there, being all Jericho, and Ziggler comes up and goes, congratulations for beating me at SummerSlam, but I want a rematch tonight. And he's like, I can beat you. And Jericho's like, yeah, I can. It's like, why? I proved that I can win the big one when it counts. Can you? And this is when AJ comes skipping in from the back, and I was like, doo 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 doo.
Oh yeah, no. Also, just watch this sequence. Like the commercial break occurs after this, and then AJ has another segment. Watch this inconsistency that comes up.
Yeah. She puts them in a contract versus contract match. Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank contract versus Jericho's WWE contract.
Yeah, and the reason why they did this, if it's not obvious, is that Fozzie's going on tour soon. So Jericho needs to be gone. They are. They're going on tour, so Jericho's going to be gone for a bit to do that.
Yeah, but of course he'll be back when he needs to put someone else over. Hopefully it'll be like Antonio Cesaro by that point.
He hasn't fought. His favorites are Dolph Ziggler, Miz, and Damian Sandow, and he hasn't fought Sandow, and he hasn't really feuded with Miz.
I think he'll be back once the Fozzy tour is done with. It's just they're giving him the time off to do it.
Yep. Most stuff.
But so AJ skips off, and Ziggler's like, "Hey, wait a sec! I don't like this. Come back here."
Yeah,
And-
Ziggler has less to lose, and he's more upset about it.
Yeah, so but they go to commercial and they come back and actually they show Del Rio. He's backstage and he's he's being pissed.
He's
He's
bitching.
right to an extent. He's got a right to be pissed.
True,
As much as that sucks to admit.
Because Sheamus screwed him.
Yeah, Sheamus screwed him over hard. And Ricardo's like, "Here, have this water," and he's like, "Fuck you! I don't want your water." And Ricardo
Right.
gets all sad and like, "I'm sorry, God."
But nonetheless, we come back and Del Rio's comes to the ring and says he should be the World Heavyweight Championship, but he got robbed pretty much. Sheamus is a criminal. He demands another title match at the moment. AJ comes out. She says she has no power over the world title scene. And yet,
But he offered to give Dolph Ziggler, to give away Dolph Ziggler's Money in the Bank contract.
yeah. If she had just said, like, I consulted with Booker T and, like, your briefcase is on the line, then that would have been peachy keen. But, like, it's a little bit, the creative kind of slipped up at that point.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Nonetheless, she pits him against Orton for,
Right.
for Booker's. She basically says, like, I'll maybe you fight Orton tonight, and I'll talk
Put her
to
in a
Booker T and give you consideration.
Yeah, and Orton comes out and he actually gets a pretty good reaction from the crowd, which I think says a lot of. I don't know.
He's Randy Orton. He always gets a reaction, especially from the women. I've noticed that.
Well, he does look like a walking penis.
That's
But
a fair
At
point.
least he's not as oily as he used to be. I don't think. He
Yeah,
hasn't
he's-
left any smears in the ring.
He's no longer flammable. Let's put it that way.
but
David Otunga stole all his oil, so.
yeah, they're in the ring, and Sheamus basically comes out to fuck with Alberto Del Rio. That's presumable. He comes to the commentary booth, and
He's just being a dick.
yeah, the match commences. Orton is like working over, seems like ADR's extremities. Like he like stomps on his hand, stomps on his other hand, stomps on his feet, and I don't know. Del Rio gets pissed at this and kicks him in the head, and they keep duking it out. Del Rio does a nice double foot stomp, but and at that point, Orton's about to initiate the 5 moves.
Yeah. I will say Orton did at least put some variation on it, and he did bury the rope DDT.
But
I think we also forgot to mention something. Sheamus is out on commentary.
not
We
only that,
mentioned
but
that.
like to his credit, and I'm about to contradict what I said. I was like, oh, he comes out to fuck with him. As soon as Del Rio reverses the draping DDT into the top rope enziguri, Sheamus is like, I know how that feels. Like he actually puts him over. Like it's
Honestly,
That's
I think
not
his
bad.
I think Del Rio's Enziguri should be a finisher.
yeah they could sort of make it like a Shining Apprentice like thing. He hits it very crisply.
He hits it crisp, and he hits it hard, and you can hear that. Like every time I hear the sound of that, I'm just like, ow. That is not going to feel pleasant.
Right.
So
But-
the finish of the match comes in when Sheamus gets up and does this thing where he distracts
The ref.
Del Rio. Then
What happens is Ricardo tries to distract Orton, and Sheamus gets up and comes up behind Ricardo and is like, "Hi, fella," and Ricardo looks at him and goes, "Eek," runs like hell. So Orton turns around and he gets hit by Del Rio, and he goes for the pin.
Lung roller.
And Orton gets his foot on the rope. The second Orton's foot is on that rope, Sheamus is going, "Ref, hey, ref, look, his foot's on the rope, look, are you looking?" And the ref's like,
Which-
"Oh, his foot's on the rope."
I didn't realize.
Huh.
the way they showed that before the replay, though, led me to believe Sheamus put Orton's foot on the rope.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then when they showed the replay, on SmackDown, actually, it was like, oh, it was there the entire time, and Sheamus was just like, hey, ref, yoo-hoo, look over here.
Okay, so I will
Double
give them
standard on
credit. Or Sheamus isn't that much of a dick that he's rigging Del Rio's matches. I'll give him that much credit. However, he did at SummerSlam. He stole a match at SummerSlam.
Certainly.
And he's been acting like a total dick ever since. This is not how you...
before that.
But basically,
yeah, he's been sort of a dick. Now, I mean, stealing Del Rio's car and everything, yeah, that was terrible.
And shitting in it.
Yeah, shitting in it.
Yeah, apparently having a massive diarrhea attack.
However, like, SummerSlam was like the line for me. I was like, no, that's not what a face does.
Oh, all the fucking time.
Um,
all the fucking since Hogan. That's where I beg to differ. It's hard to watch when it happens, but there have been like Royal Rumbles where Hogan gets eliminated, and in order to fucking just get one in on the heel, he just comes right the fuck back. Of course,
yeah, but I'd argue
Steve Austin won the '97 Royal Rumble by going back in and eliminating Bret Hart when the refs were distracted.
I'd argue that that's slightly different.
It just worked in that case. Like Sheamus, I don't think is that great a deal. I don't think certainly like I notice a lot of smarks are they aren't impressed by Sheamus as the guy in terms of the World Heavyweight Championship.
Here's the thing. Remember, Sheamus really got over with me in his feuds with Mark Henry and Christian.
Right.
That's where he got over with me as a face. And what did he do during that time? They emphasized his Irish background, and he would tell stories.
Yeah, and they kind of
doesn't do that anymore.
No, they've kind of made him into. They're kind of almost making him into Cena light.
Yeah, that's what the rumors were.
Fuck. Sorry. I just realized who I was saying was Cena light. Fucking Sheamus.
Here's
Snowman light.
I see what you did there.
They took out his Oh yeah, that was bad. They've taken out that really good part of his character, which was really funny, like where he talk about Uncle Fargus's missing testicle, or he just talk about beating Mark Henry with the iron horseshoe that he was born with stuck up his ass. But now he's just the guy who says arse a lot.
Arse fella.
Yeah, it's true. Well, before the whole Irish background, he was the guy who called people fell a lot, but nonetheless.
I think my problem ultimately is that they did what they did at SummerSlam pretty much ensure that this feud was going to go on another month.
Yeah, it was, and not only that, but it reeks of Christian Orton last year, where as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, oh, what is Del Rio now going to demand at the next match the stip that like if the ref makes a bad call or Sheamus gets himself DQ'd, then the title changes hands.
See, but I think it worked for, and this is the nicest thing I will say about the Christian Orton feud, because I hated that feud. Because I'm a Christian mark at heart. It made sense for Christian, because Christian was screwed over hard. He was really screwed. And he just kept getting screwed. And he outsmarted Orton to get his second world title reign.
Sort
of. Yeah, we all remember the dirt face.
We all remember the spit in the face.
Orton wins.
Yeah, we diverted quite a bit away after Del Rio basically acts a fool and gets pissed by the entire thing. And he turns around and eats an RKO, which tends to be the finish of the fate of a lot of heels that go up against him.
Yeah, yes. Which I also the other reason this pisses me off is WWE apparently knows Orton is going off for a movie, so they're not going to push him towards any really big feuds. So why the fuck have him doing this? This doesn't help Del Rio, certainly.
Because Vince is crazy.
Yeah. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it.
Yeah,
So
but
let's just move on for this.
yeah, Cole hypes up Punk announcing as number one contender, and they show the video of the post SummerSlam. They did a post SummerSlam video on WWE.com, and Punk's I can't remember what it was about, but I think it basically boiled down to Punk going, "I just beat two guys twice tonight. God damn it!"
Yeah, he said I beat. Why do I have to beat Big Show twice? Pretty much. And then we go to Antonio Cesaro winning the United States Championship from Santino Marella.
Yeah, good of them to recap that on Raw. More on that when we get to SmackDown.
Yeah, I am not liking what they're doing with Cesaro and Santino.
We'll see. I mean, that's what happens when it's the fallout from the title holder previously being a comedy wrestler. But Brodus Clay versus Damian Sandow is Sandow's.
Yeah, surprise! You thought this was a big feud, didn't you? Nope. We're gonna conclude this on Raw.
Yeah, it was supposed to be on the pay-per-view, but they're still recapping. They do a picture montage of everything that
Happened at SummerSlam.
Sandow has done to Brodus Clay.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm pretty sure that the Sandow beatdowns on Clay are full footage.
Okay then.
Okay, are we at the match yet? Or are we?
We're at the match.
Oh no, my notes deceived me. It was a picture-in-picture promo as Sandow is entering, where he said he doesn't want Brodus Clay polluting the audience any longer, and he's gonna to this Funkasaurus, he's gonna lead him to extinction.
Here's the thing. I thought the reason this wasn't on SummerSlam was that they were going to build this up. Silly me.
No, it's the same reason why Ryback and Mahal will be.
It's like one of those mini feuds.
It's like, so that went nowhere.
It's what they do to fill time, and they have a lot of time to fill 3 fucking
Well, they
hours.
have nowhere else to go. Have them continue this feud. The feud was all right.
Yeah, and considering the actual match, they could have fucking fit it in there somewhere. They could have squeezed it.
Also,
especially considering the night ended 10 minutes early. Also, and they usually overrun stuff like that. I mean,
they don't
they could have had it.
pay-per-views.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
They can't.
Brodus Clay versus Damian Sandow was built up pretty good. And Damian Sandow was looking like a serious threat. They pretty much threw that out. This was a fluke win for Damian Sandow.
Yeah.
Clay dominated this match.
Yeah, Clay is pretty much killing him for most of the match, and he only loses because Clay misses a splash, and Sandow gets a roll up on him.
I sense a disturbance in the Genghis Force.
Oh yeah, he schoolboys Brodus Clay while pulling on a singlet, which, in my opinion, doesn't have the same effect as pulling on someone's trunks or tights.
He wins the fucking roll up.
Yep.
Yeah,
my muffler fell out.
Sandow wins with a roll up, but he gets hit by a Clay suplex, so they get squished.
Yep, T-Bone and Chihuahua. Wish he still called it that.
And they break it down in the ring. Get down with the bad cells. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll never do that again.
Oh yeah, mood whiplash. We go from that bit of happiness to a bit of solemnity with HBK live via satellite, addressing the whole Triple H situation.
Yeah, they're showing tweets that people have been making about Triple H's future, and they haven't brought up. There's a tout video that was made that I think they bring up later. But
Notable among the tweets is the one that Cody Rhodes made, where he said like he was like pitiful. Triple H left it in the ring and was greeted with chants of "You tapped out" afterwards. Like basically shitting on the crowd if nothing else.
Well, Sean basically has to admit that he never had faith in Triple H to begin with, and that toils away at his soul and
Yeah.
yeah.
He basically said that like he shouldn't have been another burden, another distraction for Triple H. Like for him, his arm being broken, like he that shouldn't have been weighing down on Triple H's mind. And obviously, he should have had Triple H back down by just telling him the truth that he wasn't ready to face him. But HBK's introduction to his speech was great, where he was like, despite prediction, you'll never know when you'll be humbled in front of everyone and face your own professional mortality. Like his speech was like the crowd really chilled out for it.
This was a great speech.
Yeah, it was classic HBK. Like and usually as he's come back, he's been playing very goofy roles, and not here.
Well, usually HBK is very good at goofy. But he can also be very serious when he gets down to it.
Yeah. He's lost his smile quite a bit of times. He's had practice.
Nice.
Don't mean to devalue it, but again, like it was very good.
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It's just I don't think of Brock Lesnar as a threat equivalent to The Undertaker. And
that was more of a mutual respect type thing. This is not like Undertaker's not a question of a threat, just like more of something, more of like that immortal obstacle, like just something that Triple H may or may not be able to do. And there was also like again like a mutual respect aspect of it.
I just thought if anyone would have forced him to retire, it would have been Undertaker.
Not so. But
it just doesn't feel right to me.
Right. But to conclude it all, he tells Hunter that he has nothing to be ashamed of. He's proud of him. He has his respect and love from him, like his family, his fans, and they all want to wish Triple H a job well done overall in his career. Almost an echo of like Brock Lesnar, sort of sinister, telling Scott Armstrong a good job, like a bit more dignified version of it. Maybe I'm being a bit too much.
Yep. So the next match is David Otunga and his match.
His return. Yeah, he Otunga's return match is with a pissed off 500-pound giant.
Yeah, who fucks him up?
Yeah, it's Otunga versus Show. Show wins.
Yeah,
surprise
with the choke slam and a knockout punch.
Reunites, but Big Show is pissed.
Big Show happy after not winning the title at SummerSlam, and now he's pissed and he's just angry and just wants to knock somebody the fuck out.
David Otunga comes out, and then it's like, well, oh shit. And so
yeah, spoilers, Big Show wins.
Yeah,
lol.
They show a video of Show going, well, I gotta get a singles match with Punk for the title, huh? Blah! I'm Big Show, I'm angry. And no one wants to see me as champion, but they're gonna do it.
I like that promo. I thought it was really...
He was, he had every right to be pissed off, but at the same time, it comes down to the same thing where it's like, I'm really not caring about Show right now. I'm sorry.
I think he can deliver great promos, and I think he can do some good matches. It's just...
I don't think they have as much faith in him either, considering he's a good hand. I mean, just like Rob said.
So, next we have the most unlikely tag team in the world versus Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Yes. They had announced this earlier in the night. Zack Ryder and Kane versus D-Bry and Miz.
which to their credit, they do a great job of putting over both teams' differences in the past, especially Kane and Zack Ryder's. But,
yeah, I thought I was terrified that they were just going to cut backstage and it was going to be Kane and Ryder hanging out, and Ryder was going to say, "Hey, remember the time you broke my back and ruined my life? That was great, good times."
yeah, but what must be put over in this match is Daniel Bryan. For anyone who thinks that like they're not giving him anything or he isn't featured, he's one of the most over people of like this current roster. Like he comes out, of course, he duels with people. He recalls early Jericho by taking a fan sign and ripping it up, most likely saying yes, and then he trades yeses and nos with a guy in a what shirt, and like
The universe just imploded.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, Brian got so over doing the yes that I think they realized, this he's supposed to be a heel, isn't he? Maybe we should stop that.
and now
So
he's
they
even more over.
yeah, and so now the fans are just chanting yes at him to piss him off, and they're loving it.
Honestly, yeah, I would. Honestly, I'll chant yes to Daniel Bryan. He gets so angry, like his veins start popping out of his forehead. He's just really, really angry.
And he never corpses too.
And see, the thing
Ever.
is, he doesn't. Yeah, and it's somebody pointed this out. I think it might have actually been on DarkMatch. The thing is, Daniel Bryan, when he was having that match with Cena, he managed to turn the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chants back to him by going "No!" and the crowd was like, "Oh my God, let's piss him off." The crowd is loving this because he's obviously a heel, but the crowd is loving messing with him. And it's great, although at the same time, I kind of wish he was champion.
There's a spot for him. He's
brings back Kurt Angle, actually.
He's put himself over as like a reliable hand in the ring so many times. The fact that he's had a great match with Orton, he's had a number of great matches with Sheamus. He had a very good match with Cena. And to the point where, again, I'll remind everyone, he was in the STF long enough to break out of it and reverse it. So they're taking his status as like a submission specialist quite seriously. There will be a time for him. He's nowhere near.
It'll come, but I'm happy with where he is right now. I mean, I can't really complain. He's one of the most. It's hard to say, but he's one of the most popular heels they've got.
Yeah.
But so the match itself is nothing really to write home about. I mean,
yeah.
It ends when
Miz is a tag team specialist. That I think that's really where he shines.
To an extent.
I think before R-Truth got suspended, Awesome Truth would have gone many places. Honestly, I'm waiting for them to put him back into the tag team division and skyrocket that up. But
the match pretty much ends when Brian and Kane get into the ring at the same time, and he slaps Kane and then is like, "Okay, time to go."
Yeah,
he gets out of the ring and he just runs he runs as fast as he can.
And Miz sees that and he just says, "Fuck this."
It's like, well, I'm out of here. So
pretty much stuff.
Kane, he stops chasing after Brian and gets back into the ring, sees Ryder and goes,
You'll do.
hits him with the choke slam and just starts stomping all over ringside. Like he grabs a crew member and throws him. He grabs a crew member. It's looking like he's gonna kill him, and then just throws him back over to where he had been. And he gets back in the ring where Ryder is just starting to recover from the choke slam, and hits him with the tombstone.
Okay, so just for the record, my official rule is that if you see a crew member and they are attacked, and you never see that crew member again,
It was a plan.
that crew member is now dead.
Or that crew member is Stan.
No, Stan came back.
Stan's kind of a Time Lord, though.
Stan came back, I believe, the Monday before this one. So,
But
here's the thing. So I believe that racks the kill count up to 4. So far for the past couple of years. Like Mark Henry killed 3 people, I believe.
This is highly morose.
this is kind
Leave
of
the memories alone.
But okay.
Now dead. That timekeeper dead.
Yeah, poor bastard. I actually kind of feel sorry for Right, because the entire idea behind this match, according to AJ, was, well, it's to make sure that they don't have any more anger problems. We're gonna pair them up with people that they've had, issues with in the past, and it's clearly proven that Kane still has severe anger problems.
I wish they would have just put over the booking of the match
think.
by. This is just another way that AJ's crazy. So she's like, I wanna start fires, figuratively, of course.
Also, if I remember correctly, Miz and Daniel Bryan have made up.
Oh yeah, they have. That's true.
Because Miz said he wanted to be in a tag team with Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan was champion.
That was around the time when like he was transitioning into a full heel, but he was still kind of like batting people away. Like he still said, "Michael Cole, no one cares what you think." After Cole all but praised him.
Yeah.
And it was around the same time, but nonetheless, I mean, I'm looking forward to their continuing feud. We may get a situation like, I mean, he's already fucking beaten him on one of the big 4 pay-per-views. Like I'm sure Kane's gonna come out on top in another way, and like that'll just get him out of it.
So was it on SummerSlam or Raw where Josh Matthews was thrown into the abyss?
That I believe was in SummerSlam.
That was SummerSlam.
Josh Matthews, I just love that they've given him the gimmick of asking questions at the wrong time.
To the wrong people.
Then just getting his ass.
I can see that you're really pissed off right now. Oh God!
Yeah, see, they do that, and then just to make it worse, they make him do "Are you serious?" which is actually pretty damn good. Oh.
Actually, I want to see this week's episode of Are You Serious to see if like either he'll be absent or he'll have like bandages on his neck.
I kind of hope they'll do the bandages, just because it'll be like, see, this is just a Rogue Dog could be like, see.
And again, there will be
stay here.
There will be more on this on SmackDown as we go from this to a pretty lackluster Divas Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Lackluster? It was shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were advertised. Beth Phoenix. No Beth Phoenix.
We were advertised Kelly. No Kelly. Kelly wasn't out there.
Oh,
well,
I don't even
outrage.
I don't even remember this match.
All I remember is that 2 of the divas just dove out of the ring near the beginning.
Yeah,
two of the divas just disappeared mid.
They Gail Kim at the same time.
They rolled out of the ring. Well, they're gone.
I remember about the match. Three basic points. Divas went out of the ring. Tamina super kicked the fuck out of Alicia Fox, and Caitlyn won by eliminating Eve.
Oh, there was a point where Natalya and Tamina were I think we actually started corpsing, just because of how bad this was, and the crowd could not care less.
Honestly, I like Caitlyn. It might just be on a looks factor, but I like Caitlyn.
Oh, I like Caitlyn too. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it was such a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
That is like, but so this was apparently for the #1 contendership for the Divas title. So Caitlyn's #1 contender now. Yay.
Yay. So, we get a recap of
they do another recap of Lesnar versus Triple H. They show clips from the beginning of Raw, and then they show a tout that Brock Lesnar had done, where he basically goes, Yeah, I'm done with the WWE.
Now let me just go and take a piss.
Yeah, it's just like that was really. I realize that they're trying to cut off his appearances right now, and wait until WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania, to bring him back. Because obviously that's who's going to face the Undertaker. But question, could you have been more abrupt?
Yeah,
That
they
was
could have
just
done
like,
it at the beginning of the show, but they didn't do that.
yeah, it was just like, okay, bye. I'm new King of Kings. Okay, bye. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really couldn't give a fuck about Bork Laser.
Yeah, yeah. His
Greener
lesson
pastures.
doesn't thrill me either.
Greener pastures ahead as Vicky Guerrero is manic backstage with Dolph Ziggler, and she's saying like, oh, she's complaining, she's hyping and motivating Ziggler, and he needs to win for her, and Ziggler says, no,
I need to win for me.
yes, it's
I
the
need to win
biggest
for
match of his life.
me. Fuck you.
Yeah, so they could do another Wade Barrett vignette, and I can't wait for him to be back at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm like, when are we, I'm just like, at least can they give us a date in his vignettes, or are they just gonna?
They're not gonna Brodus Clay him, are they? You know, they're having
He's
him
gonna
up as
come
like
back with a new wave gimmick.
he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back as a Bieber
The
fan.
Wadeosaurus.
Oh,
Wade Barrett, Super Bieber. Wade Barrett. I'm Wade Barrett. I'm a Super Bieber fan.
That sounded
Okay, why
Scottish.
does he sound like Finley?
I'm sorry.
I'm a believer.
I'm
Okay,
Wade Barrett, and I
that
love
accent kind of
Hawaii.
sucked, but
Hello.
He's very
No,
easy to do,
His
but at the
gimmick
same
just
Wade
time
sounds
very
Barrett.
hard.
Finley's.
No. I got it. Wade Barrett, Time Lord. They'll have him come out. They'll have him come out of a big blue box on the. If they actually did that, I would die laughing and of happiness.
I mean, they should do that next time they do a show in Manchester, like where they have the phone booth. Just have the phone booth be a like a
Police
talk
box.
sort of.
Yeah, but so this brings us to what is actually our main event for the night.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho, contract versus contract. And this was a good match. This was probably the match of the night for SmackDown or for Raw. Yeah, it was match of the night for SmackDown too. I assume.
Yeah.
But it was a really good match.
Ziggler mostly comes out early on with like a lot of pin attempts, small package, schoolboy, very apprehensive as he should be.
Yeah, he doesn't want to drag this out because he'll lose.
Yep. And the Y2J comes back with like a lot of high spots, like the missile drop kick, the sort of drop kick, the springboard drop kick to Ziggler on the apron. And the crowd fucking loves him. Like the crowd's really behind Y2J, as they should be. Ziggler does a lot of elbow drops, and at one point Jericho reverses one of these elbows into a very very disgusting looking backdrop. Like he hurt him. But after a while, Jericho does a top rope perk and Rana. Ziggler tries reversing the walls into a small package for a near fall, and then we see Jericho do a bulldog to a line salt. Ziggler blocks them, and he hits the zigzag for the win.
Yeah.
And it appears that Chris Jericho is now fired.
Yes.
Yeah, and so Jericho handles this with all of the poise, and Ziggler's in the ring, and he's just being, the utter biggest dick he can be. He's got the briefcase. He's like, yeah, I won. He's in the corners, and he's going into the corners like, yeah, woo, go me. And Jericho, Vicky's got the briefcase at this point, and Jericho's just like, give me that. And whacks Dolph hits Dolph in the stomach with it, hits him over the back, and then hits him with a code breaker.
To some booze.
Jericho standing victorious was the best way to put over Dolph, but
So yeah, Jericho does a really good job at putting over Ziggler.
Yeah,
Besides
and Jericho leaves the ring, and he's, the crowd's not all that pleased with him, but he's like, well, whatever.
um,
Oh, and then they show a preview of some movie I didn't really give a shit about. I'm pretty sure it sucked.
um,
Um,
outcomes. After that, we get Punk.
hooray!
He's at the end of Raw for finally.
Oh, and
Oh.
this is the best part. If Punk gets up in Lawler's face every Monday Night Raw, I will be happy. Because Lawler
Well,
deserves.
Like Heyman, he's a better commentator anyway, at this point at least.
I was gonna say that's not saying much.
Yeah,
So-
it's true. It's true.
Punk wants an apology from Lawler, and then Cena comes out.
Yeah, it's basically
Earlier in the night, I don't think we mentioned this. Punk said that Cena would be his #1 contender on one condition. And he didn't say exactly what the condition was, but he did.
yeah. So Cena comes out, and Punk gets in the ring and says, "Couldn't you have waited until I called you out? I was busy talking to Lawler." And I'm tired of taking a backseat to you and Triple H and The Rock out of respect, because respect's a two-way street, and I haven't been getting as much respect as I deserve. People always come up to me at airports and go, "Why aren't you in the main event?" And Punk's like, "Out of respect, and not because the booking is shit. I've let you go on last. But taking a backseat to you doesn't make sense to me anymore. I beat you for this title, and we're going to ignore that I lost to Del Rio." Which is
Yeah.
literally what they do. They do not mention the fact that he lost the title.
Oh.
Yeah, essentially, Cena was like, I haven't been champion for a year now, and they're basically.
No, they're like, you've been champion for 9 months, which means I haven't been champion for 9 months. No, Punk won it from Del Rio.
Yeah, it's been a year now, Cena. L2 count, you dumbass.
So
But yeah, and Cena's response to this whole, like, I've proven myself, I've beaten you, is that, like, oh, you can't say that you want respect, you gotta come out here and earn it. And I've done that by saying how everyone here in Fresno, that their team is so good, and the reason why their team is so good is because their fans are loyal. And
Well,
yeah, he demonstrates. He says, "I'll show you respect," and then proceeds to demonstrate what loyalty is. Respect and loyalty are not the same thing.
yeah. Punk does say that before Cena gets on the mic, that all Cena has to do to get his #1 his match at Night of Champions is say that Punk's the best in the world. That's all he has to do. And Cena goes on about how he goes on about loyalty and respect, or respect, manages to fuck up showing that, but he's like, he's not gonna let. He basically goes, "I'm not gonna let everyone down, and I'm not gonna call you the best in the world, because you know what? Nobody has given a shit about." Basically, it boils down to Cena. Cena goes, "Yeah, you've had the title for 9 months. Who cares?
Yeah,
The only thing anyone remembers of your title reign is when you blew a kiss goodbye to Vince McMahon and ran off with the title."
and he says, does say, "Congratulations, you've held the title for 9 months. I once held it for 390 days." And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's refer to your reign of terror.
yeah, not only that,
let's
but
not
it's like, oh
rewind
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's nothing compared to my shit. Like 9 months is fucking balls. Like I've beaten that. Why?
Yeah.
How about if Bob Backlund just comes out and goes like, yeah, I got challenge for you, Cena. You held it.
Oh,
Like,
This
Bruno
Bruno
Sammartino
Sammartino comes out.
Yeah,
This Bruno
basically,
Sammartino comes out. It's bullshit.
DG, your mic is kind of fucking up.
Anyway, Hulk Hogan comes out. Yeah, your reign is bullshit.
Yeah, basically it boils down to Cena says, you know, you want to prove that you're the best in the world? Fight me.
He's like,
You know, I can live if you decide to pick somebody else, because I'm confident I'll get another title shot down the road anyway. And Night of Champions is in my hometown, so
If you don't pick me, then nobody should respect you ever, and then leave.
yeah. Cena basically says that if Punk doesn't choose him, he's got no respect for the title or himself, and he just leaves. And Punk's like,
The fuck?
Lawler, come here, Lawler.
Lawler, we have unfinished business here.
Yeah, he's like he just completely brushes off Cena like, yeah, whatever, bitch.
As he should, because that was bullshit.
eye for an eye.
The thing is, from what I have seen well, before we get to what happens between Punk and Lawler, from what I've been seeing from the fans online, everyone seems to be all, oh yeah, Cena. I've actually seen a lot of people go, Cena really showed Punk up, and it's like, no, he didn't. He basically made the titles sound unimportant for the past 9 months.
Well, unless he's holding it.
Yeah, unless Cena's holding it, it's like
Or challenge.
how many times Punk has beaten Cena, what, 4 times now?
Yeah.
How many more times does he have to beat Cena before Cena's like, okay, you're better than me?
Yeah. Here's the other thing. That people are fearing. I've seen this before. CM Punk's curse of Night of Champions. He has yet to win a match at Night of Champions.
Oh, yeah, because last year he faced Triple H, didn't he?
Okay, let's review. 2009, I believe, was his first one. He was supposed to be put over by Chris Benoit for the ECW title.
That would be 2007 then.
That would be 2007. And
Yeah.
we all know what happened there. And instead, the match was changed to him losing to John Morrison. The year after that, he didn't have a match. The year after that, but the following night on Raw, he cashed in on Edge to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The night after that, the year after that, he lost the World Heavyweight Championship back to Jeff Hardy. The year after that, he jobbed to Big Show in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And last year, he lost to Triple H. So he has not won a single Night of Champions.
Plus, you also have to realize they're probably wanting to put the title back on Cena because they're going to do a fucking Cena versus Rock rematch because that's what people want.
Do Rock versus Punk. That's obviously the better choice.
See, to an extent, Cena versus Rock shouldn't happen again, period. Because they hyped it up as, once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime.
Well,
you can't go.
Yeah, it's really, really kind of hard to sort of duplicate that claim, but nonetheless, what CM Punk does with Lawler is he calls him out. He tells him to call him the best in the world because, to quote CM Punk, Lawler is the minister of propaganda. Lawler takes a lot of time, says, no, I'm not going to do it, and CM Punk then looks dejected for a minute, roundhouses the fuck out of him.
Yeah, here's the thing. Lawler has called CM Punk the best in the world before. I am certain of this.
Yeah, I think he just wanted him to do it, over the mic, for everyone in the crowd and everyone on TV to hear. He just wanted them to do it again, since Lawler's been doing his. He's stupid. He sucks. He turned on the fans.
Lawler should not. If Lawler has called CM Punk the best in the world before, what's the deal with calling him it again? Just because he's turned heel, I guess. And Lawler can't side with any heels.
Sorta.
Well,
he hates all heels.
Obviously, they're not.
No heels can be legitimate in his eyes.
Anyway, yeah, No Leaf is requesting that we move on to SmackDown now.
So Wait, well, just really quickly, Raw ends. Lawler gets kicked in the back of the head, and I think that's how it ended. Unless there's something came
Yeah,
up.
yeah. If every Raw ends with CM Punk kicking Lawler in the head,
Hooray!
I would be okay with that.
So, moving on to SmackDown. I think we can just
SmackDown. Let me sum up SmackDown in one word.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, come on.
So
The first person to come around to the ring is Randy Orton.
Yeah,
that's not a
yeah.
good sign.
That's
Well,
not a good
but
sign.
yeah, Randy Orton is out for whatever reason, and he has a mic. Oh no! But essentially, he says he talks and puts himself over as never a person to think of the glass as half full. Likes to take the glass, smash it into many pieces, and then kick the ass of whoever came up with that idiom because
And
he's
he
a
says
fan
it.
of confrontation. I thought that was a pretty cute deconstruction.
Yeah, and he says, Del Rio should just mind his own business, and his win on Monday was tainted. But for saying that his win on Monday was tainted because it's too damn bad, and that he deserves to be the number one contendership, to be the number one contender.
For the World
And
Heavyweight Championship.
yeah, and he's like, he knows that people are sure to disagree with what he's saying, but he says, if you got a problem, come out here and tell me. And the first person out is actually Sheamus. And Sheamus is like, you know what? You should be number one contendership. You should be, yeah, you should be the number one contender. I got no problem with that fella. And at SummerSlam, I beat Del Rio fair and square.
No,
Said
he
with a straight
didn't.
face. He
No,
says
no,
it with a
he was
straight.
saying that with clearly with like a glint in his eyes. He knew what he was doing. He was being
He was trying to keep a straight face though, from what I remember of this. Sorry, just mentioned this. But
he was being sincerely insincere.
yeah. So he's like, I want to face your fella, and this brings up Booker T. And Booker T's like, you guys are talking about something pretty big, and you two facing each other. Do the fans want to see it? And the fans are like, yeah. Booker's like, I want to see it too. And you got all the credentials, right? Yo, dog, you got all the credentials. We need to talk about what happened on Monday. And out comes Del Rio, and he's all, I want my title shot.
Yeah,
I was cheated. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
this promo is like a whole ball of convolution. I mean, I yeah,
It's a big ball of whining.
it was went on for quite a while.
He keeps on interrupting Booker T, and Booker T's trying to say something, but Alberto's not letting him. And finally, Booker T's like, "Look, shut up. I have something I want to say. Let me talk." The This is after Okay, just checking. I'm still here, right?
I will mention something about what Alberto Del Rio said. Like, if we can't make this any more like Randy Orton versus Sheamus, he calls the whole thing a conspiracy.
Yeah, he's like, this is a conspiracy against me and against me by all of you. And Sheamus and Booker T's finally like, look, let me talk. Let me talk now. I have something important I need to say. Randy Orton, he's in line to be a number one contender, but you come first, or you did before you started interrupting me, you bitch. Well, okay, without the you bitch, but it's basically implied. So he decides, you know what we're gonna do tonight? We're going to have a match. It's going to be a rematch from Monday. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Alberto Del Rio, and whoever wins is the number one contender. And they both Orton has no problem with that. Alberto's pissed because he's Alberto. And then that's it.
Yep, that was the end of that overlong promo.
Ah.
Uh, After that, though, there is a bit of delight in my opinion because Michael Cole is alone on the commentary table, and he reveals that Josh Matthews has actually been selling his injuries from SummerSlam after being attacked by Kane because, and I'm quoting Cole, he was just doing his job.
Yeah, and
That is now a meme. And Josh Matthews getting attacked, and he was just doing his job. We recap the whole Perfect Storm match, Lesnar versus Triple H from
they mentioned that they're gonna talk about the aftermath later in the night. Oh, fuck, wasn't that what Raw was for? But we come back. They go to commercial and they come back, and Michael Cole has been joined with by Teddy Long, and Teddy's like, "Well, playa, what you gotta know is I'm not gonna be on commentary. I'm not gonna be the only one on commentary.
Okay.
Because basically every match is gonna have a different guest commentator with Cole, and Cole's all, but how am I supposed to do my job? I was like, shut up, Cole.
Shut player.
But
So
next thing
this actually brings us to our first match of the night: Ryback versus Jinder Mahal. Another feud that they're ending.
Again?
Notable from the sense that Ryback actually cuts something of a promo.
He basically says, tonight, Mahal, you'll realize your place in the food chain. Feed me more. And oh my god, I don't know how, but he managed to get that over with the crowd because they
got that over huge.
You can see them chanting it with him when they're not chanting Goldberg at him.
Well, see, think about it this way. It's like sort of Cody's paper bags, like what we were talking about earlier, except in the right direction. Like this is something they wanted to get over, and they did. Because it was at first people did it ironically, but then realized it became appealing enough that to continue doing it.
Yeah, although I don't like that they put it into his theme song. I thought it was better without that. I mean, it hasn't really changed any. It's just
I like it.
Yeah, so Ryback ends up squishing Mahal, which is should be
Not really.
expected.
Jinder Mahal gets some amount of offense in. He gets headlocks. He gets he sort of bails out of some of Ryback's power moves, gets some kicks, but
this is Ryback's match because he wins with the with his marching with whatever his finisher is. I guess it's a muscle buster.
It's not really. It looks distinctly because like a muscle buster has the person scrunched up vertically, but in this they're horizontal.
Yeah. And anyway, Ryback wins. So I guess that feud's over now,
Maybe.
unless they decide to have more matches.
They always find a way to do that. Just look at Del Rio.
Yeah.
Del Rey.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the same thing with Brodus Clay and Sandow.
Well, especially Sandow got a bullshit win, but
yeah. So we go to commercial. We come back, and Michael Cole has now been joined by Caitlyn for an early piss break match. Sorry, a Divas match. Alicia Fox versus Layla.
This was awesome.
And the crowd died. I was listening to it and I thought, did something go wrong with the sound? And no, the crowd did not care.
Yeah.
In the slightest.
And nobody in the back, nobody in the production truck really decided.
They didn't even try to pipe in cheers. They were like,
I mean,
kind of like
they looked at it over.
SmackDown, you just die.
Yeah, they looked at it over and they were like, "Wow, look, Alicia Fox is actually doing a half crab. She's trying to do a half crab." Nah, it doesn't work out. The finish is basically Layla kicks her in the head. It's fine. Not much more to say. Caitlyn throughout the match puts over the fact that Eve Torres is being an asshole and like she doesn't believe in her and she's condescending to her but we have after the match Caitlyn joins Layla in the ring and they shake hands, they hug, Eve Torres makes her way and it's a little tentative, but then she raises both participants' hands or both feud participants' hands. And that's about it for that segment. We have a recap, and then we come to Dolph Ziggler in the back with Vicky Guerrero, and he basically puts himself over as best in the world. Pretty much everybody's calling themselves that. Daniel Bryan, it hasn't been a couple of weeks since he said that, but his new catchphrase seems to be greatest of all time. I kind of wish it's like him telling Cena that he's not better than him. Like they were just like, no, we don't want you doing that. But I digress.
Somebody should come out and say, I am the shittiest wrestler ever. That'd be so refreshing.
But who knows? Yeah. Vicky encourages Dolph. He's like, you're the one that sent Chris Jericho packing, and Ziggler is sort of apprehensive about the fact that AJ made him put the briefcase on the line, and Vicky is like, I'll take care of AJ. But Sheamus comes around and kind of acts like a bastard again. He's like, no time like the present, fella. He's like, he wants to be in the ring. He wants to fight, and he basically pokes at Dolph. He's like, come on, cash in. You want to cash in? You gonna cash in? Cash in. And Dolph shoots him down.
Yeah, but Teddy comes in and he's all, "Hey, I'm gonna go suggest a match between you two, and well, if you win the match, and Sheamus is down, you could cash in then." And Dolph's all, "I like that idea," so he goes away, and then Sheamus is like, "Thanks for the match." It's like, "Thanks, Teddy. The first round of beer's on me." And there's
Which could
thing.
imply corruption in the ranks.
Not really. It's just like, I'm gonna have a beer with you.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, you would be more prone to favor your drinking buddies in matches now, wouldn't you?
I guess.
Oh, it's just a beer.
And Teddy has not exactly been unbiased in the past.
Yeah, I know. He is.
Does
Kind
the
of,
name
he is kind
Drew
of
McIntyre ring a bell?
He is kind of a douche. It is like a perfect. Well, fuck McIntyre. Like that actually had history. Like that whole thing where he was gonna be like, I'm not gonna fire you this week. Like he basically McIntyre when he was on top and when he had the backing of Vince McMahon, when the crowd actually gave him heat, he was basically making Teddy Long's life a living hell and making him look like less of the person, very undignified. This was back in 2010, but it's I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Our next commentary participant is Cody Rhodes, and he's joining Cole to sit by for Sin Cara's match with Heath Slater. Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
The one-man band.
Yeah.
This match is not what you think. No, Sin Cara doesn't come out on top. He does a lot of his flipping magoos.
Flipping
As we
dude.
expect.
How am I supposed to wrestle when it's dark? Oh wait, I won.
Yes, Heath
Flippy
Slater didn't seem
vanilla.
to care about that at that point. And of course, Cody brings out his caricature of unmasked Sin Cara, and we have like Cody distracting him.
At one point, Cody reverses the mask.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is. And this allows Heath Slater to do an inverted DDT for the win.
So Heath Slater's won a match 2012. Holy shit.
Yes.
That wasn't against Doink.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Brooklyn Brawler doink, by the way.
After the match, Rhodes tries to take the mask off, and I guess he does kind of get it off. But Sin Cara gets it on before anyone can see him. And they announced Ziggler versus Sheamus will happen. And unfortunately, so they go to commercial and they come back, and our new guest commentator is Vicky.
She's better on commentary than she is at ringside.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to sound interested, and I'm just failing.
You don't sound interested in anything, really. That's not an attack on you. It just
Just a comment.
a comment.
I neither
And that
agree
awkward
nor disagree.
silence says, "I've stepped over the line." Okay.
So yeah, Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler have a match. It's non-title, by the way.
It's I mean, these guys have locked up before, so it comes off like that. Ziggler has scouted most of Sheamus's big offense. The finish, like, I mean, it is what it is. Ziggler does he does a nice DDT. Sheamus does a great belly, like, backdrop, and like the spots aren't as don't have as much consequence until like the end when Sheamus goes for a bro kick and Ziggler, having scouted it very well, like just runs out of the way, like hits the ropes, and he throws the match out when Vicky hands him the briefcase and just gives and Ziggler gives Sheamus some shots with it. Not bad. Like doesn't really make him look that weak. It just makes him look like the type of person that he's like he knows when to cut and run. This is a battle that he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well,
He doesn't
we'll get into that debate in a second. Ziggler smashes Sheamus hard with that briefcase and dents it up real good, and he hands it to the ref. He looks at it. He looks down at the briefcase, looks at Sheamus, and then hands it to the referee and says, "Cash it in." And then Sheamus gets the angry look on his face.
Sheamus gets up and Ziggler's like, maybe not. So he grabs the briefcase and runs.
But the way this gets me was, why does every heel who gets the briefcase have to be a coward? Miz was a coward.
Well, that's typically what heels do.
Daniel Bryan, CM
But it's
Punk.
like, that's not a. There shouldn't be a catch-all heel. People are people, and every person is different.
Edge wasn't. I don't quite remember Edge being a coward. He just fucking took an
But
opportunity.
no, he was one of the first, so he
Ultimate
couldn't.
opportunist.
Yeah,
CM Punk.
he's the ultimate opportunist.
Same with CM Punk when he was a babyface.
Yeah,
Arguably not the case when he cashed in on Jeff Hardy, but
yeah. Here's the thing though. It's just like Ziggler.
And Daniel Bryan also, like, he actually provided good
When
justification
Miz
for what.
finally cashed in, he was dedicated to cashing in, and he cashed in on in what was probably the most even heel cash in of all time. With his match with Orton.
Orton had just been in a match with Wade Barrett, and
Well, see, but that's also the point. Like with Ziggler, like you realize he's being a little brash, and he stopped himself from doing that when he saw like how pissed off Sheamus was.
Yeah, but Miz still won his match. Is my point. I guess, to be fair though, Ziggler should have been tired from his match, and he shouldn't have been 100%. So I guess cashing in wouldn't have been the smartest move.
He realizes how much of a Superman Sheamus is. I still to say he's genre savvy.
yeah.
Well, Undertaker was a Superman too, and he was the first cash in. Or he was the second. Was he the first or the second?
The first cash in was Cena.
Oh, the first cash in was Cena. Okay.
I guess that's your point also.
Taker was the second. Well, yeah, there you go. There's two Supermen, Undertaker and Cena.
Well, Cena. That was after Cena had a particularly hard fought match.
Yeah, and so did Undertaker.
But no, and in contrast to this, Sheamus had a fairly average match where he just got hit with a briefcase a couple of times.
True. So, here's my thought. Del Rio's probably going to go for a no disqualification match at Night of Champions. And I've been saying this for a while. The way to set this up, if you're not going to have Del Rio win, have Del Rio kayfabe break Sheamus's arm. So you put over Del Rio, and Del Rio's happy just to get at Sheamus at that point. Just if he's gone through a match enough that he just goes through and he just like uh this would only apply to a regular match though, not a no disqualification match. If he holds on to the arm breaker long enough to break Sheamus's arm and get himself disqualified, uh, and Ziggler runs out and cashes in, you put over Del Rio and you put over Dolph Ziggler. But of course, that would be smart booking, and no one's going to do that.
We'll find out.
Yeah, but
I mean,
anyway,
Hell in a
let's-
Cell is
let's-
coming up right after that, or no, unless it's Vengeance.
No, Hell in a Cell is October, so I think you are correct.
So we get a Wade Barrett video package.
It's the
'cause
same
we
one.
can't get enough of
from
those. And then
It's the same one.
Santino Marella comes out.
Oh God, this promo.
So he says that ever since losing a U.S. title to Antonio Cesaro, he's becoming less American.
You're a Canadian pretending to be Italian.
He can't remember how apple pie tasted.
So
And
he
then
had
he goes on and on.
Yeah, he talks about the Cobra, like he puts it over, like they're sort of doing a thing like Head, where it's an actual thing. He blames the
just
Cobra.
plain creepy. I'm sorry, I was just creeped out by this. Him talking to the Cobra.
It's hopefully this is not something that they'll just like continue because it's over. This is just something like the fallout for him losing, and like Cesaro will hopefully face someone more competitive for the title afterwards.
Little Jimmy. Let's compare this to the other imaginary or crazy gimmicks in the company. Little Jimmy was entertaining as all hell at first, and then endearing as a face. The Cobra creeps me the fuck out. This is just wrong.
He's talking to his snake, and it's a puppet. And
He's talking to his hand.
Yeah.
He's a comedy character. What
well,
like,
at least he can go talk to the hand, and he's talking to himself.
Oh.
But yeah, he then he goes on to quote like the famous Italian American actor and
Roberto De Niro.
And he quotes something from Meet the Parents, like I have nipples, can you milk me? And then he's like, no, wrong actor. He quotes another Italian American actor, Rocky Balboa.
He's not an actor, he's a character, goddammit.
This is well, so is Santino, and he happens to be a comedy character. So like, what do you want?
That's the point of this.
Like,
and then he quotes Rocky 4.
Yeah, if I could change, you could change. We could all
change. I can change. You can change. We can all change.
And he could be the U.S. champion again. God, I hope that isn't the case. Before he could head out, Antonio Cesaro comes out complete with a remix of Dean Malenko's old theme, which is not bad, not bad. He still has Oksana with him, and he
oh
says,
my God, I didn't hear this part. I'm sorry, I just read in the recap. Santino says that he was United States champion for 166 days, 14 hours, 33 minutes, and 22 seconds.
Yeah, it was a long time.
He's gonna bring back the hunkometer.
No,
I'm just stunned that they kept it on him for that fucking long.
Because they really don't care about that. It's like people have always said that, like, oh, that was an old
but
WCW character.
I'm gonna read. Dolph Ziggler worked his ass off to raise that title out of the dirt.
Well, yeah, after The Miz had it for a while and was doing good with it, and then The Miz had it for a second time, and then Daniel Bryan made it look fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and then but then whenever they give a title to Jack Swagger, you know that's when it's going to shit.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, Zack Ryder made it look fucking great, but they were like, no, underdog. But again, Antonio Cesaro, he calls himself a winner in 5 languages. and then cuts a short promo saying he personifies being a winner.
Okay, here's where I'm going to go back to my point about managers. This is where I'm going to lay down some heavy shit.
Just don't say anything about Cornette.
Managers, WWE seems to be using managers for the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Managers are supposed to be used for talent that can't talk to raise them up. What are they doing? They're using managers that have lesser mic skills than the wrestlers they're representing, and using them to drag those wrestlers down. Think about it. AW, the primetime players. Oksana and Antonio Cesaro. Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler.
Well,
do any of those talents need those?
I think Oksana's a valet.
Yeah,
she's supposed to be eye candy. There's a difference.
Yeah, but what if
she
gets more mic time than Cesaro? Therefore, she's a manager. She is a terrible manager.
They both have pretty similar mic time in terms of frequency. Number one, number two, it does serve the purpose of saying like, look at how hot this woman is. This guy has her, you don't. Therefore, he's evil. And also, I hate to say, I hate to say this. I love Claudio Castagnoli, but he isn't the best mic worker. He's
better than Oksana.
I don't know.
And he deserves better.
It's 50-50. I like in the Kings of Wrestling. Chris Hero was the one that would deliver the long-winded promos. Castagnoli was the one who would punctuate them by saying a one line or something like that.
In FCW, okay, I will say this. In FCW, Cesaro's gimmick was a lot better.
It was the same, only it wasn't the language wasn't overplayed. Like he would just say something in English and then say something fairly
But no, his whole look was better.
Okay.
His look was better. His promo.
Guys, No Leaf is requesting that we move on.
Sounds like an idea.
Hate to spoil everyone's fun,
but before they could celebrate, Santino comes up to the stage and he blocks a kick from Cesaro, and he's about to come out with the Cobra.
He tries to Cobra him, but the Cobra still goes for Oksana again. We just
okay. Can we just establish that the Cobra is an analog for Santino's penis?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point.
Can we just yeah?
It's the innuendo that they don't put over directly, but instead they give him a comedy character and they say it has a life of its own. We have a backstage segment very similar to last week where Del Rio's yelling at Ricardo, and the next people to join Michael Cole at the announce table is Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, and they do a wonderful job of reminding Michael Cole how white he is. Like he tries to do their poses, and they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And
yeah,
okay, is this a segment where Michael Cole was like, millions of dollars, and Jim's girlfriend wouldn't let him watch it?
Yes, it is. This actually brings us to our next match is Epico and Primo versus Kingston and Truth, and it's a non-title match.
Not much to say about it.
Yeah, it happens. And
this is Kofi and R-Truth once again dominating the competition.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to be said for the backstage segment afterwards, but
yeah, the backstage segment was amazing.
I noticed that Truth has been getting the pin in all these when he doesn't need him. Like he's in his 40s. Kofi needs to be put over. Like I want to see him fucking go for at least a title pursuit. Like I think he could do it. I think he just needs to be in that position.
Honestly, yeah. Well, here's I think they missed the boat with R-Truth they missed the boat with R-Truth at Capital Punishment.
Well, R-Truth and Miz. I thought the match was all right, but they changed him into more of a comedy gimmick.
Or Awesome Truth. Either way, they've missed the boat with R-Truth for putting him over as a top guy.
Right, but I agree, but I think his time is past. I think he should just be a hand. I think Kofi Kingston should get somewhere. They should do something with them.
I just don't think Kofi really can. I think his limit is the mid card. I'm
Well,
just
no, that's because that's what they've always fucking saddled him with. Like, I think he has every opportunity.
he can't cut a decent promo.
I think that's bullshit. I think he could,
His promos are not that good. I'm just saying.
like he's completely fluent on the mic. He doesn't stumble. Like, he sounds just fine. But like,
Yeah, he just gives generic promos.
I'm gonna fucking kill both of you.
All right then. Truth gets a little
What?
Jimmy.
That we're actually discussing an interesting topic. Just saying.
But yeah, Truth hits the little Jimmy. And Kofi Kingston and R-Truth are the winners. After that, like, they put over the WWE's recent Asian tour. They go to China, they go to Japan, they go elsewhere. Matt Striker's talking to Truth and Kingston, and he asked them who his next opponents are. They said they're willing to take on all comers, and Truth puts over little Jimmy when they're interrupted by Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, who make fun of him. And they say that they're the real tag team champions. They dance and they say millions of dollars. Then the Usos come into the fray and they're going to be the next champions. Then
Holy shit, the Usos are on television.
Yeah, awesome, fucking awesome. Epico and Primo join in, and then Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel, surprisingly enough, come around.
Yeah, really.
I miss Tyson Kidd.
I think in the background you can see Hunico and Camacho.
Oh yeah, fuck. What happened to them? Jesus Christ. They should be there. Especially since they even out like heels and face tag teams. But this is a good segment, I think, just for the fact that they established that there's a division.
Yeah, it's just like, oh crap, we've got more.
I think there should be a tournament of sorts. Like, that would be a good way for them to go. But
that would be amazing.
It turns out into an all brawl, and the referees have to break it up. We come back, and Booker T apparently is talking on the phone about the whole tag title situation, but he reassures whoever he's on the phone with that it's under control. Presumably it's Vince McMahon. I don't know. Teddy Long is goes nowhere. Like
Teddy's like, I think I'll tell you who you should put in the tag team title match, player. And then Eve comes in with a shitload of research and just schools him.
And she's
just like, yeah, I've listed out their statistics and made a few suggestions, and I've Booker, I've evened out your schedule. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go work on next week's SmackDown. Bye. She is competent at her job. Clearly, she is evil.
Clearly. But they as Eve's leaving, she goes, "Oh, hey Teddy, I didn't even see you there." And, you know, she's being a real bitch about it. I think she's obviously there's going to be a feud between Eve and fucking Teddy Long, because, you know, that's what we want.
I don't want Teddy Long on my TV anymore. I'm sorry. I think that boat is past. He's in his 70s. Let the man retire.
You know, as long as he's entertaining, I don't have a problem with him being on TV.
I don't think he's really entertaining anymore, though. He's the most entertaining thing I think he's said was, "You got a match with the Undertaker, player."
Well, holla, player.
Or you got a match with the tag team, player.
Anyway, we're getting close to the end of the show here, so we ought to wrap it up.
Yeah.
They show a brief. They show the coronation of Brock Lesnar as the King of Kings, and then his abdication over Tout. They go to commercial, we come back, and Sheamus is now at ringside with Michael Cole, and we're going into our main event, Orton versus Del Rio. And
better than their match on Monday.
Yeah, it is. Sheamus doesn't really get involved this time. It was a pretty good match.
Can I hold in my excitement? Should I hold in my excitement, or should I wait? Should I wait till the end to sort of?
Del Rio wins with the into the
Who
cross
makes
arm
Orton
breaker.
tap out? Hooray! Yay!
Yeah, and so Del Rio wins. After the match, Sheamus gets up and Alberto grabs Ricardo and pushes him down to pull off his shoe, and he whips it at Sheamus. And Sheamus gets pissed. He goes in the ring to go to kill. He gets in the ring and takes Alberto down, and Ricardo gets involved. So which lets Del Rio hit him with the kick. And then he waffles him with Ricardo's other shoe, and this cues Dolph Ziggler. And he's coming in. He's going to cash in his briefcase. He's going to cash it in, and Orton hits him with the RKO.
Hence my hatred for Orton.
Although he probably did, he might have done Ziggler a favor, because, I mean, didn't they have that whole rule where it's like, if the other guy can't get up,
Yeah,
you
but
can't
that's a
cash.
bullshit rule. Like, there have been multiple cash-ins that have happened where the opponent couldn't get up. Including, I believe, Edge versus Undertaker. Which is Edge's second cash-in.
Yeah, they recently implement. It's something they've obviously changed since then, because that was like fucking years ago.
But
Things change. Things change.
If you, in your argument, he may have saved him because the last time Dolph Ziggler tried to cash in with Del Rio in the ring, Del Rio screwed him over. So there's that.
Okay, so we talked about the finish of the match, about Randy Orton tapping out.
He's putting over more people nowadays, which it's a good use for him. Like he's
It's
having
probably
enough
also-
status.
Except Ziggler.
You also have to remember he's probably still being punished for his suspension. And they're like,
No, what they're doing is he's being scheduled for a movie.
The 12-round sequel.
They're not going to push him for anything because he has to go off and film stuff, which is perfectly logical. But that leads me to ask, then what are we doing with him? Why did he win against Del Rio on Raw? What purpose does that serve?
it was Sheamus screwing over Del Rio. That's basically it.
Oh, so
Just Sheamus
they
being
want me to hate Sheamus more.
Perhaps.
I don't get it.
But yeah, like it or not, Sheamus and Del Rio are in yet another match at Night of Champions. Here's hoping they spice it up, spruce it up by like making a false count anywhere, no DQ, whatever the fuck. Like I'd want to see a more intense kind of thing between these two. But
fair, if I recall, Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena, their Falls Count Anywhere match was fantastic. At Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was Raw SmackDown. Let's get to whatever it is we do on.
It's time for our sort of ad hoc WWE game. It's all HBK's fault. Where we list things, snafus, goofs, botches, whatever the fuck that was wrong with the show, and tell you not why, but that it was all HBK's fault. I would say AJ's changing level of power was all HBK's fault.
The power of the shoe was all HBK's fault.
That's a nice one.
Brock Lesnar basically taking his ball and going home like he always does. That's all HBK's fault.
Orton appearing only to do nothing is all HBK's fault.
And then I think that's going to do it for Dark Match this week.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Blip TV or YouTube to keep up to date with all of our videos. Make sure that if you are on Blip TV or YouTube that you're /loving our videos. You can also like us on Facebook. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at DarkMatch Wrestling, and you can follow us individually on Twitter as well. We're on TRE Productions, where all of our videos, lots of other great stuff is hosted. We're on Reviewtopia in the community section. We're that guy with the glasses in the blog section. And last but not least, we are you can visit us at the Spoon Experiment in their forums, and where you can talk to us in the wrestling section and stuff. Yeah. I'm the Lone Warrior, and I am later.
I'm Chris, and I'm Bushed.
And I'm Digifox.
And I'm Slick Rob, the forgotten one.
God damn, this show's been too fucking long.
I hate everyone and everything.
Yeah, we got to start putting people's nuts in the place to record the Raw show on Tuesday.